Welcome to another episode of Fusion Event Overloads. Yeah, they've done it again. It's that magical time of year where Plarium drops another limited time only, better not miss it Fusion Champion, and your energy refills are already crying in the vault. And this time, we're talking about me, the new lady of the season, Sanguine Maria. She's red, she's spooky, she's from the undead hordes, and she's bringing a full-on math exam to raid Shadow Legends. Because apparently, October is for blood, mirrors, and turn cycles divisible by 3. Now before we dive in, no, I'm not doing this fusion. I'm exhausted. The last time I tried to complete a fusion, I fell asleep mid-dragon run and woke up to a 3-day energy pack offer. So let's just talk about her, because honestly, she looks incredible. But as always, the big question is, does she actually do damage? Because if she hits hard, she's terrifying. If she doesn't, she's just a math teacher in red armor. So, Sanguine Maria, faction, undead hordes, affinity, force type, attack, rarity, legendary. She's basically what happens if Lydia's goth cousin got tired of waiting for a buff and decided to just start haunting mirrors for attention.
Now here's what Plarium has to say about her, and honestly, this is some of their most dramatic lore yet. They say her curse was born in 3s. 3 cries for mercy, 3 drops of blood, 3 vows of vengeance. Okay, Plarium, chill. You're describing a champion, not pitching Castlevania the musical. Once radiant and adored, she was betrayed by her own reflection. Relatable. I too was betrayed by my reflection the day after a 2x ancient event. Now, mirrors run red at her call, and every glimpse of her face comes with a price. Look, Maria, I'm not that evil. I don't take souls, I just eat money for breakfast. And maybe some disappointment for dessert. She'll stand by raiders in both PvE and PvP, aiding everyone brave enough to call out for her. Yeah, sure, as long as you can afford all 17 fusion events required to summon her. Aiding everyone, huh? How about aiding my energy bar first? So here's the deal. Her whole gimmick is built around the number 3. Everything she does, every turn, every hit, every buff interaction, revolves around 3s, and that's either brilliant or insane. Let's break it down. Her basic skill hits 3 times and has a 1 in 3 chance to give her an extra turn. Sounds fun, right? Until you realize it's basically gambling with your entire game plan. Sometimes you'll loop turns like a blender with wings, sometimes you'll just sit there staring at your screen wondering why RNGesus hates you again. Then her second skill, this one's the real bloodbath. Normally, it ignores 33% of an enemy's defense, pretty standard stuff. But every 3rd turn, she goes Super Saiyan Vampire mode and ignores 99% of defense, stone skin, and even block damage. So yeah, every 3rd turn, she just says, your defenses are invalid. And if she kills her target, she extends everyone else's cooldowns by 3 turns. And if it's that special 3rd turn moment, they can't even resist it. That's actually cracked if her damage is good. And that's the key word here, if. Because if her multipliers are low, all of that just turns into fancy text. You'll be counting turns, waiting for the divisible by 3 power-up, and she'll still be doing 40k damage into Mithrala. We've all seen it before. Okay, turn 1, decent hit. Turn 2, setting up buffs. Turn 3, unleash the fury. Next, she's got a skill called Gore Scream. And yeah, that's as metal as it sounds. This thing removes all buffs from all enemies before she even attacks. And if the number of buffs an enemy has is divisible by 3, they can't resist it. So picture this. You're in arena, Nekret drops his wall of buffs, Maria takes one look, does some mental math, and just goes, yeah, that's divisible by 3, and deletes everything. Then, if anyone's sitting below 66% HP, she attacks them all. And if the number of buffs she has on herself is divisible by 3, she gets an extra turn. So, she's a walking algebra equation with knives. If you love math, you'll love this champion. If you don't, good luck keeping track of what's happening. Her passive is called Say Her Name, and I've got to give it to Plarium. The flavor here is top tier. Every hit she lands deals 33% more damage, stacking up to 99%. And every hit she takes deals 33% less damage, also stacking to 99. So if she stays alive long enough, she becomes this blood-soaked tank that also doubles her damage. That's actually really clever. But it resets after the 99% mark, so it's kind of like a mini cycle. She builds power, hits hard, resets, then builds again. And then there's the revive effect. Whenever any enemy gets revived, Maria revives too with 33% HP and 66% turn meter, and she throws true fear on everyone. And that true fear can't be resisted or blocked.
So yeah,
Arbiter presses her button, and Maria just crawls out of the mirror like, "You rang? That's honestly nasty in Arena. You can't even play around it."
she punishes revive metas just by existing.
Oh, and of course, her aura boosts ally attack by 33% in all battles because, everything has to be divisible by 3. If Plarium could have made her base attack 33333, they would have. All right, so let's talk realistically here. Maria's kit is super unique, but it's also one of those looks incredible on paper situations. We've seen this before. You look at the abilities, you think, oh my god, she's broken! Then you test her out and it's like, oh, she's broken, just emotionally. It all depends on her damage multipliers. If she hits hard, we're looking at a top-tier nuker that bypasses defensive metas, shreds stone skin, and keeps looping turns. If she doesn't, she's just another collector's piece with a cool Helloween skin. That's the gamble. And that's why, as much as I love this design, I can't justify grinding another 2-week fusion marathon unless she's confirmed to actually delete teams. And speaking of the fusion, let's just take a moment to talk about it. We've got champion training, dungeon divers, artifact upgrades, and about 42 different energy-draining events lined up, all for a chance at a champion who might hit hard every 3rd turn. I love you, Plarium, but my daily login rewards can't keep up with your trauma schedule. At this point, these fusions feel less like events and more like an endurance test. How much sleep deprivation are you willing to trade for one legendary vampire accountant? Come, Raider, summon me, and I shall grant you power. Yeah, Maria, I'd love to, if I had 20 more energy refills and a second job. Final thoughts? So here's my honest take. If you're new to the game or you missed a few good nukers recently, Maria's probably worth the effort, at least on paper. She's got that spooky flavor, some potential in Arena, but for the rest of us who've been here through every fusion, every must-have champ that turned out average, maybe it's time to just sit this one out and watch the test videos, because I can already feel the exhaustion creeping in. And if you've ever burned through 10k energy for a champion that ended up in your vault, you know exactly what I mean. So yeah, that's Sanguine Maria, the Queen of Threes, the Lady of the Mirror, and possibly the most over-designed Helloween champion we've ever seen. Let me know in the comments, are you doing the fusion, or are you, like me, too tired to count to 3 anymore? Either way, thanks for watching, Raiders. This is Bronco, signing off, exhausted, under-caffeinated, and probably divisible by 3 at this point. See you in the next one. And remember, don't say her name 3 times unless you've got enough energy to survive it.